There you go. Good morning, good afternoon, good whatever you're doing, Paradigm Shifters. Welcome to the final week, the final Transformation Tuesday in March, where we've been talking all month about this word play, relax, chill out, have fun. And so, Paradigm Shifters, as you know, is a community dedicated to shift and uplift the entire planet, right? Amen. And we have we're getting close to the 1400 mark, and that's one of my goals for the end of March. And so with that, I love the fact that one of my colleagues, Amy Minkoff, is coming in and from Montclair, New Jersey. I love when you say that. And you know, there there's certain challenges when you know that that's a self-care part and not. So come on in here, Amy. Tell us a little bit about yourself and how you're so qualified to talk about this topic. Come on in.
All right. Well, can you hear me,
We
Judy?
surely can, loud and clear.
Awesome. Awesome. Well, in my work, which is I often do my best to envision as not work but play. I help visionary leaders, professionals, and business owners take their work and their life to the next level of success. And they even get to have more happiness along the way in my model because I promote something called full spectrum living. Because if you're not happy and content at home, it's going to spill into your work life. And if you're not happy and content in your work life, it's going to spill into what's going on at home. And your theme for this month is an important component in full spectrum living. So I'm really thrilled and honored to be here with you to talk about this theme of
Oh,
play.
this is fun. So tell me, for maybe some of the challenges where you've had where yeah, just a couple of them. I know you have a couple of them where you are, I don't want to say busy, you have a full schedule. I
I
used to say
do.
busy, like, oh, I got to take care of this person, I got to take care of that person, and
Mhm.
like that. And I just switched it to you have a full schedule. So come in and talk about some of your experiences with that.
Sure. Well, as you said, I have a full spectrum life and a full plate. And I've always seen myself as a caregiver and a nurturer, right? So I have adult children. One of them recently had a mental health challenge. So I was giving a lot of myself as a mom. And I am blessed to have my 91-year-old mom still with me. She's visiting. I'm involved in her care, and I have my own business and I have friends and hobbies and all of that. So it's very easy to feel like I need to fill my own cup. And, I've been nurturing and taking care of all these other people. And it's so important to nurture ourselves. And there are the obvious ways, like maybe going to the gym or getting your nails done, a lot of this self care, but we forget the idea of fun and play and joy as something that we can give ourselves permission to do. I think that many people who are in caregiver roles, especially moms, we feel guilty about having fun. And as you know, our mentor, Mary Morrissey, reminds us that spirit or God or the universe, whatever you call it, invented this idea of fun. And Mary says spirit loves fun. So if we're willing to believe that, there's our permission, permission to have fun. And I also see fun and play as a pathway to creativity and productivity. So, another reason, aside from permission from the universe, to embrace play is that it can increase our creative bandwidth. It could increase our energy to be more efficient and effective. So, it's perfectly justified to take the time out to do it so that when we return to care for others or do our work, our cup is filled, our creative juices have been stoked, and our bandwidth expanded.
Oh, great. Well, what are some ideas? Give us some ideas of how you play or how your clients play or
Sure.
yeah, I'm just been well, totally blown away by some of the ideas people have been putting out that I never would have
Yeah.
thought about. It's like I have tunnel vision on what that word means. And
Yeah.
I've
I
been
hear what you're
saying,
saying.
yeah, well, tell me
Well,
more.
before I give tangible examples, I want to give
Oh,
another piece of wise advice that I got from my grandma who lived to 105. She said, make sure that you play or have fun for a minimum of 5 minutes a day. It could be an hour, it could be a whole day if you're, giving yourself a mental health day. But the prescription is that it must be done every day. Just like we talk about consistency and repetition for transformation and changing habits. Well, if you want to increase the habit of play, you got to apply consistency and repetition with that too. So my grandma was a very smart lady and it seemed to have served her well. So that's the first thing to do, is do it every day, minimum 5 minutes. So, it's really funny that you picked me to do this, because up until recently in my life, I used to think of myself as very serious, and other people used to think of me as pretty serious. And I didn't think I had permission to play and have fun. So I would get stuck. What is fun? What is play? So, first, before saying it's this or that, one way to discover for ourselves, because play will be different for different people, it's the thing that you lose track of time when you do it. You're not thinking, when is this going to be over? It's also a thing that is lighthearted. It feels easy, you know. So if you say, for some people, sports doesn't necessarily do that for me, but being in nature, some games like card games or games that involve words, like I don't remember names of games, playing games with family that cause you to say funny things or share things about yourself. um, um, I love dancing in unstructured ways and structured ways. Like, for example, my boyfriend and I have taken folk dancing and gone together. So I think it's great, if you're not sure, to ask yourself, what do you get lost doing, not looking at the clock? What feels light? What brings you life? It doesn't have to be something that is standard play to other people.
wow. You know what? I love that you said a minimum of 5 minutes a day. And what I find, and this is just personally, like I'll work all week and possibly play on the weekend. But if I didn't get the work done here, it's the weekend. So yeah, and this is a different way for me, at least for I think many of us, but many of my paradigm
Yeah,
shifters, to look at life.
yeah, yeah.
Oh my gosh, not have 5 minute, not have every minute structured in the day.
Well, and you can structure it. Here's another thought for you: to not only decide to do it 5 minutes a day, but to calendarize it as important enough that it's scheduled.
Oh, tell me about that calendarizing.
Well, you know how Mary tells us that our calendar is the most powerful tool for moving our energy to the activities that are most important, right? Time is a made up construct. We can't get any of it back. And we don't want to feel like our calendars are the tail wagging the dog. So we decide to use the calendar as the guardrail for our energy. And, when my grandmother said, do it 5 minutes a day, decide when you're going to do it. And maybe it is more than 5 minutes a day. Maybe it's an hour, and maybe there are breaks during the workday. I remember in one of my corporate jobs, we had a really an employee who was so good at what he did, but he put up a little basketball hoop on his cubicle, and he had a little like squishy basketball, and he would schedule little 5-minute basketball games. And he also every month picked a theme and decorated his cubicle with little puppets and figurines around the theme. And that's, you can be playful even about your surroundings. Play can be an act, it could be an atmosphere, and play can also be a mindset. Like, for example, I've even decided to take things in my life that seem like they're not really fun. And I've said, what could I do to bring a playful spirit to this activity? Something, as people talk about death and taxes. I didn't used to, and I still don't really prefer to work on my taxes, but I have said, what can I do to make this a little bit more of a playful experience?
Oh my gosh, I'm writing this all down.
Like, for example,
What can I do to bring play to this?
to any experience that we otherwise think we would prefer not to do, to have that experience, or to consider it either negative or work. Here's a question: what can I do to bring a spirit of play to any activity?
Oh my gosh, this is like gold nuggets right here.
Yeah. Yeah.
I'm just like playing around because for me, I'm in front of the computer
Uh-huh.
multiple hours a day, and there's a little button if you go to the stop video. I mean, yeah, the video button, and
Yeah,
there's all of these way cool things. Can you see that?
I can.
to to put, and then there's this one.
Well, yeah, actually, you're playful. The way, you'll come to a training that we go to with our colleagues, and everyone, just shows up regular, and you show up like that, you know, or
you know,
you'll
you know what
go,
it came from? It came from uh, yeah, not be. I don't want to, honest to God, not boredom, but it's this whole focus thing, and like my whole room here is full of play stuff, and so it's like, okay, let's focus, 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 and then I started playing with the buttons on the virtual screen, and I saw so many cool things like that and like this. And I have my clients actually. Oh my gosh, I'm like going nuts now. Oh, this is a good one. Can you imagine being in a meeting online and just kind of clicking that? And anyway, so I digress, but I think I'm going to go back to here and um,
Well, but you,
sometimes.
you you brought this playful moment even to our conversation, and you got me giggling and laughing and feeling. I mean, I was perfectly happy to come and have this conversation with you, and your playfulness, elevated my mood.
You know what we just got at training? It was this thing, this professional microphone, and it looks like it needs a name. So anyway, yeah, I don't know. Just let's get serious a little bit here. Wait, let me go back here. uh, what? Wait, that's
Judy's
silly.
still in
I
playfulness
know.
mode.
I'm like going to end up with the dog here, but I wanted to like in like the moments, and this getting back to like when Common now are thinking or normally and honest when the emotions are so sad and so
Mhm.
like Oh, maybe you're not taking care of your mom, but many of my clients and people are in that where they're caring for an elderly parent and
Mm,
making tough decisions, and the
mhm.
parents just want to play, go back to their childhood.
Oh, yeah.
And I when I and it's like they're very sad and frustrated that they say with their words we're losing our parent, and another way to look at that is like, why don't you go and play with them?
I love that thought. And I've had some experiences where I can relate to that. So I'll quickly tell you a little personal story. My mom has often verbalized and said to me, "Oh, as I'm aging, I hear they call this a second childhood." And I've noticed she'll say, "Oh, can we watch TV now? Or can I have a snack?" And we just had breakfast 20 minutes ago. And I feel myself resisting her and wanting to correct her. And, I'm being like the mother. And I've said to myself, you know what? It's okay. We can have the snack. And just like you said, I've had moments where I've said, it's all right. I'm not losing um the love she has for me. Like when you're taking care of an older parent who's like progressing or being like a child, we all have an inner child. It's always with us. And I think that at different life stages, we let it get hidden. And at end of life, I think there's maybe, on the one hand, there are actual cognitive things going on, but on the other hand, there are spiritual things going on that where there's a little more permission to just let that part be and let it show. And so the lesson for us is, when we're in that middle stage, that we can allow that inner child out anytime we want to. We can choose to play with that part of us.
Oh, I love it. Yeah. and
Yeah.
and just having been a part of so many people's lives that are in that ultra concerned about a parent, that I have one client that they have dance parties every day
Mhm.
because her mother referred is in her teenage years and she's in her
Mm.
90s, and so they like put on the music and they dance and everything. She said she's having the time of her life with her mother that she never allowed herself. They never
Yeah.
allowed themselves to do that before.
Exactly. And that willingness to go right along with them. And I started to say, and I want to mention it to come full circle with it because it's that important. It may be shifting what the dynamic of the relationship looks like, but we're really not losing the love they have and the connection. And if we're willing to go to that zone of playfulness with them, it can maintain the connection by going where they're going, to that space of playfulness.
Oh,
It's
this is such a good, I feel a very important conversation that we just had.
yeah.
You know, and yes, I'm just so grateful for you, Amy, and watching you progress. And I love how you started like I was a very serious person, and I think that's who I used to know. And now you've come full circle.
Yeah, I mean that I'm sometimes that part of me serves me in certain areas. It helps with discipline and it helps handle certain things. And allowing that other part of me to shine too, um, gives me and the people around me a much richer version of me and a richer experience to when I allow that part of me to shine as well.
5 minutes a day, at least. Wow. Well, thank you so much. And I'd love to end this with asking you, like, we're holding space for you, our whole community, and they grow and grow and grow. We're holding space for you. And, it's always that question, what would you love to have us hold for you, Amy Minkoff?
Well, I would love for you to hold for me that as I embark on new initiatives in my vocation, as well as in my relationships, that I do practice what I've just preached with you today, that I continue to infuse play into my life, my work, and the world around me and the people I love.
Oh, perfect. And hold on, here we go. From Texas to New Jersey
Oh,
and all over the world. And thank you so much for lightening us up today.
oh, it's my pleasure. Thank you for the invitation. It's always a joy to share ideas together and be synergistic and offer ways that our fellow paradigm shifters can create the lives they truly love.
Yeah, shifting and uplifting the entire planet.
Yeah, love it.
Thanks,
Love it.
Amy.